cabs. I've only got mostly American and English. No, human trains. Flying Scotsman isn't a big boy of the UK. Big Bertha is probably closer to that, or the 9F 210. Probably one of the biggest trains in the UK. Then, of course, we had the Garrett engines. Guten Tag, you have just taken over train RE 57025 at Augsburg. Please release the doors and allow passengers to board the train. Your departure time is 12:06. On arrival at München, it is expected that you will take this very train to Wilhelm, Oberbay, so don't be late. So I think part 2 we actually run Munich Garmisch, since that's where Wilhelm is. Driving the 426. Headlights, thank you. Considering they're such a plain unit, you wouldn't think that they'd be that likeable, but I really do. They really are quite nice units. Right away, driver. The Germans say that. Hey George, thanks for the sub on YouTube. Check out those sounds. Speed limit's 80 kilometers. Next station is Augsburg Haunstetter Strasse. I'm going to get lots of comments from German people now telling me my pronunciations are horrible. Which is fair, they are horrible, but... I don't drink beer, Jamie. As horrific as that sounds. I have got a Diet Pepsi with me though. Really not driving very well here. Should drive much more promptly or I'm going to incur the wrath. Another ice over there, excellent. Some good AI on this so far. Right. Well, Mr. Passengers. Next, Augsburg Hogsel, 3 kilometers. 100 km/h speed limit coming up. Still want good signals. The Ice 2 is rather cool. I quite like the Ice 3 personally. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favourite. But I struggle with favourite trains because I like them all. I just like trains. I'm very sad like that. What's on tap for me? Just Pepsi Cola until I run out, which is not very far off now. And then I'm going to be filling my fridge with just bottled water. Trying to get rid of the soda out of my diet. Favourite tea? Wet tea, basically. If it's tea, I'm going to drink it and I'm not going to complain about it. Unless it's got sugar in it. I don't like sugar in my tea either. And again, coffee. Sorry, I'm just watching the trains. This is cool. I don't particularly have a favourite brand of coffee either. I generally drink Nescafe if I'm having the cheap and easy coffee. We've got a Tassimo machine, and we have got the Costa tabs for that. So, but they cost a fortune. Sorry, I had to. Human trains, Intercity Express, ICE. Next station will be Kissing. I have no idea what it will be kissing, but it will be Kissing. Jamie, that sounds spot on. Yeah, I must admit, George, I normally have a PG Tips cup of tea here, but that's because that's what we've got. If all we had was Tetley, then I'd have Tetley. Or is it Tetley we've got? See, this is how much I don't know, because basically if there's a cup with tea bags in it, I put a tea bag in it and I make a cup of tea, and that's me happy. I do like a Jackson's lemon green tea with lemon. That is nice. I like green tea. I also like a tea that I can't remember the name of at the moment. Another one of the greens. White tea is quite nice as well. It's got a very different taste. Oolong. That's the one that I like. Oolong. That stuff's marvellous. Just don't talk to me about Earl Grey. Shut up. Can't stand that stuff. Welcome back, Steve Ducanoy, and Marcus, welcome. Sweet tea's nice. I do like sweet tea when I've been over there. My wife's from America, so whenever we go back to visit family, I get to enjoy a sweet tea. We were over in Tennessee just late last year. That was awesome. Haven't been to Tennessee before. E-Man. Okay, I can do that. E-Man trains. As you can tell, I have a problem with usernames. Right, stopping here. You're actually called Paul. Well, your username says Jamie. Yeah, my father-in-law used to live in Florida, and when Hurricane Charlie landed on his house, he decided it was time to leave. So that was when they upped sticks and went to Tennessee, and they're now in Knoxville. Mering, St. Afra. Wow, Ricky, that is late. No, don't do it again. Oh, 143 on a freight train. So we're doing Munich Augsburg, scenario called München's Regio Roster, Part 1. Munich Regio Roster, but it's in workshop title database as München's. It's by Francesca SV. It's a workshop scenario, you can download it. And you'll need a few bits of DLC to make it work, but it seems to be well used in the scenario, so you get lots of good AI. So what do you stream then, Ricky? Ah yes, but E-Man trains, am I allowed to switch on AFB and LZB? Because if I am, that's no problem. I could do that for half an hour if you like. At Mering, and next stop, we're due to connect with the service to Geltendorf. Make sure we get there on time. Yeah. Wow, this scenario moans at me. You must know me. That's cool. Welcome back, Peterborough and Metro Rail van. E-Man trains. So there are systems. There are systems on the German trains. AFB is basically cruise control, And LZB is kind of like an advanced form of signalling, but basically it takes over all of the control of the train using the AFB features. So it's basically autopilot, put bluntly. You switch LZB on, switch AFB on, set the AFB to full speed, and then it will speed up and slow down exactly as you need to, so that you stop at the red lights, slow down for junctions, and slow down for trains in front of you. Absolutely superb. Possibly a bit boring to drive. This thing has got brakes like it's got anchors of hanging out the side. Fantastic. Oh, that's a bit lumpy. It's not particularly my goal to track crash trains, man, it has to be said. So what we got to do next then? Oh, okay, we're just carrying on then. Fair enough. Welcome, Ruben Sandwich. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you with us. Off we go, non-stop to Pasing. Yeah, thank you, Doc. Thank you. When you say every now and again, Doc, what you really mean? Nothing on the ZS3. Good, good, good. Keep going. .120 speed limit though, so let's stop accelerating now, hey? So this is what we're driving, in case you missed the beginning of it. We're driving a 426 S-Bahn EMU, heading towards Munich. It's not very secret, actually, Doc. What are we doing? 116. Oh, we'll get the 160 in a minute, and then we can do slightly more than 116. Come on, speed up. So we're running about 30 seconds ahead of schedule according to this. And we're now in the 160 km/h section. Next stop is Pasing, which is 35 kilometers away. So a bit of high speed running now. Welcome, Malky RFC. Good to have you with us on the channel this evening. So we're on a high speed run now to Pasing, 31 kilometers to go. Hey FIFA Wizard, welcome to the channel this evening. Oh dear, excuse me. Welcome Chombi, welcome to the channel this evening. Hey, thanks for the follow there, FIFA Wizard, much appreciated. That should be fine, Doc. Shouldn't be a problem. Hey, Chombi, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Bringing us too closer to our magical goal of 300 followers. Nearly there. Right, I'm going to pop out of there and let's do some dramatic-ish flybys. The only problem with these is we're going to have to do them inside the track area. Oh, you're right, it probably is. Well, let me move it. Let me move it down here. And where's the cab? There it is. I'll take that one. Pump that down there as well. Is that better? Oh, it fell out the top of the cab. Oh, that looks even more weird than normal. Let's move that up there. Yeah, that's better. What is my? I don't have a personal favourite train. I like the A4, the 9F, British steam engines, the ice trains. They're pretty awesome. The Acela, the ACS 64 in America. I like the SD40-2 because it's got a sort of a retro feel to it. This train and the Talon 2 in Germany I like because they're interesting little commuter trains. The 377 and 378 in the UK, then again, nice commuter trains. I like all trains. There's just not many trains I don't like, to be honest. I do have a particular thing for steam. I love steam engines. Hey Pandotto, welcome. The Pacer is awesome. No, really. They've sort of got a retro feel about them without feeling like they should be retro, because they're obviously not as retro as something like a Class 101. And yet, they kind of are. So they're really odd. And I like odd. No, I think I'm going to pass on your challenge, Eamon. Thanks very much, though. All switches are good, all shunters are good. 14 is probably a favourite of the shunters, they're really interesting. How about a show only on steam engines with tips and tricks for running them properly? I've done several of those in the past, but it wouldn't hurt to do another one, I guess. Do I play Train Sim a lot? I work for the company that makes it, so I play it quite a lot, yes. And I do this stream every night for about 3 hours a night. That's a lot of hours. Dark, you mean the BR52? That's actually not a bad shout. I'm going to add that to my list because it's that's a good shout. So we're going to get a speed drop to 120 kilometers in about 2 kilometers. So I had a request a while back to do the FEF in full advanced mode and all of the doohickeys and everything manual. So once I've got that one practiced, that could be part of the Steam stream. Probably do something with the Q1 and the wartime scenarios for the UK part of the Steam stream, and then the BR52 for the German part. How does that sound? Guess I should have just done what it was telling me and slowed down. Next is in 9500 as a drop to 80 kilometers per hour. Oh, we're up at 200 kilometers per hour. Speed up. We're 11 kilometers now to Pazing. Oh, welcome, Palmer. I didn't see you join. How long have you been there? George, nope, this is the last scenario for the evening, so I've got until this one finishes, and then I'm off ski. Been going for 2 hours, just over 2 hours now. Flying Scotsman. Yeah, I mean, I could certainly look to do something with the Flying Scotsman. The only reason I didn't choose something like the Flying Scotsman off the bat is because it's a pretty plain Jane engine to drive. But that's not a problem either, actually. It's good to show people engines that are easy to drive, as well as things like the FEF3, which are the exact opposite of easy to drive. But they're also an awful lot more fun to drive, it has to be said, to drive things like the FEF3. I don't have to get up in the morning, do I? So maybe we'll do a bit of Flying Scotsman next. Just a little bit. I don't want to be here all night. In 20 minutes I'll have been... There isn't any more night left. But, never mind. So, yes, maybe we'll do the Flying Scotsman briefly before we finish up this evening. And I shall sort out a Steam-themed stream. Hopefully I'll bring along extra water for the boiler as well. Plans for the weekend? Going up to my parents as always, which is why Sunday stream is, as always, it'll happen if it can be. Whoosh! Another ice going the other way. Getting almost in programming. I'm developing some software myself for controlling model railways with DCC. Sort of a graphical user interface. And we're also experimenting with developing some new handheld controllers using Raspberry Pi and touch screens and things like that, which is a lot of fun. So I'm trying to write some software to make that all work. That's the alarm that it's going down to 160. Oh, I see. LZB is switched off. I really didn't get how soon that was going to drop down to there. Never mind. Pay more attention to what you're doing, Matthew. What's the GUI written in? The GUI, it's, well, because it's Raspberry Pi and it's talking to Raspberry Pi hardware, it's kind of, I'm using the default sort of examples and just extending them so that I can get the hang of how it all works. So the prototype GUIs are all written in straight Python, but ultimately it's all going to be in C#. Server side, so the rest of the system is a client-server system, so it's multi-user model railway control with multiple trains, handheld controls, smartphones, all the rest of it. And the then we also want to have these handheld controls based on the Raspberry Pi technology, which so far are working well. I've done one handheld controller using a 2-line LCD display, which comes with a 5 buttons. So use those 5 buttons then to allow you to operate the trains, and that seems to work all right. But then the touchscreen is obviously quite exciting because you can do all sorts of things with a touchscreen. So yes, prototyping them in Python, get them working, prove the ideas out, and then learn how to drive the touchscreens using C#. Do it properly. Cheers, FIFA. Thanks for joining us this evening. So yes, the model railway control stuff is actually really good fun. So I want to try and get the prototype for the touchscreen working this weekend. I've been procrastinating too much and not getting it done. It's quite cool. The model railway software's got speech interface as well, so you can talk to the railway and have the train start moving and all the points changing. That's really quite cool. As long as you can remember the commands and you don't mind looking like a bit of a wally. Because you look a bit of a wally until all the points spring into life and the trains start moving, and then everyone bows down and worships you for the greatness that you are, quite appropriately. Of course, if what happens when you say train 4664 start moving at 30% and then a point changes, then you continue to look like a wally. Next stop, Munich. I'm going to say Munich. Anything on the ZS3 for me to worry about? Nothing on the ZS3. Good. Welcome back, Dave. Oh, I don't know, the Irish Rail guy, it's, if you set it up correctly and use some of the more modern stuff, it's actually, I've found a lot of success with it recently. Not recently, it was a while ago now, but the speech API that comes as part of Windows these days is actually very, very good. It depends on how it's set up. For the model railway stuff, it's got a very limited vocabulary, so setting points and speeding and changing locos, actually it almost never gets them mixed up, which is very cool. I even wrote a speech interface to Train Simulator just for a giggle, so that while I was driving trains, I could say start injecting water, or start shoveling coal, and it would start shoveling coal or water, depending on what I'd asked for. It's very, very good actually. It's good being able to just talk to it. It's like having an extra controller. We've been informed of a track circuit failure on the approach to Munich. Please reduce your speed to 100 kph when passing Hirschgarten. I will reduce my speed to 100 kilometers per hour. Sometimes it depends on the voice though. So speech recognition works for most people, but there are certainly some accents and some voices where it doesn't react correctly, because the voice has got various other pitches and frequencies in it which may not even be human audible, but it confuses the software. But they're getting a lot better for certain. Welcome Ox Belladon-Oxo. I can't believe I just said that. Well done. Alright X, welcome as well. Welcome to the channel, both of you. Next speed limit at 60 kph has been cancelled. You must reduce speed at 40 kph before the 60 sign and maintain it on the approach to the platforms until you reach the 30 kph description. Well, I'm just going to drop to 40 kph. Yes, I must admit Google Speech Rec has been, I've been playing with that one a bit more lately, and it does do a very, very good job. It's really cool. Sometimes I even actually practically use it rather than just as a gimmick. And I'll say, we're way before that 60. And I'll use it to set stopwatches and things like that going, because I can't be bothered to find the app. So Matt, what kind of consist do you have? At this moment I've got a pair of BR426 EMUs, S-Bahn. Now I'm at 40. Oh, made for free roams and quick drives? I don't know, I pretty much haven't made many of my own consists, I just use the ones that come with it. I don't mind Google knowing where I am, not in the slightest. If they can find something useful with that to do with that information, then more power to them. What about yourself, Jesse? What have you built for yourself as a consist? 4,000 feet. Wow. How heavy is that one? I'm guessing that'll be an American one or a Canadian one or something. Well, I'd hope at 4,000 feet there's a spread of some at the front, some at the middle and some at the back. Right, so we've just arrived at Munich. So if there's anybody who doesn't know how to drive a steam engine, one good scenario to watch back that I did on YouTube is the J94 on Mardi Branch doing the 30 wagon challenge. That's a really hard scenario to do, certainly for beginners, and for me initially. Nice job. Change to the rear unit, as in a few minutes you'll be departing for Wilhelm. Actually, the scenario will be ending. Boom. Target's complete. 8 out of 8. We did it. So, yes, if you look at the J94 Mardi Branch 30 wagon challenge, there's some really good techniques in there too that are applicable to all steam engines. Now, let me change the changing route. We're going to do one more tonight, just because I've got a little bit more time. And we're going to do something with the Flying Scotsman.